Welcome to the Jim and Patrick Show, where this segment is going to be about a topic that's very serious,
Yes.
that we both believe in and
Yes.
we're both
Passionate
very
about.
passionate about. So, why don't you lead it off and tell your story, and then I'll join in.
Sure, Jim. I saw a news item on my local news about a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old that are missing now for probably about 4 or 5 days. And basically, they stole their parents' car and went to meet a man that they met on the internet, and then earlier this week, their vehicle was found abandoned with some of the girls' personal items, such as their purses and things, in the vehicle. The family is saying they would never leave those things behind. Something is drastically wrong. So basically, the issue at hand is, meeting people on the internet that you don't know, especially when you're underage, and how dangerous that is.
Well, it goes wider than that even, too. Where are these parents? Where are the parents in these young people's lives that
I
don't
totally
know what
agree.
they're doing, that don't give a flying walenda about what their children are doing, who they're talking to on the internet?
That's right.
Here are these young
Not
girls.
involved enough in their lives.
And another story, here were these young girls that were sending naked pictures to this older guy, and he was playing on that, and then next thing you know, he set it up so that she could fly out and meet him, and she did, and her life was destroyed after that. I don't understand why nowadays young people really can't meet someone that's respectful in society itself, that they have to look
dangerous.
on something as
It's
hideous
so dangerous.
as the internet. And there's so many child molesters, dangerous people, stalkers, all kind of filth out there that spends their time
That's
just
true.
playing
Preying on
young girls and,
Yes.
and children.
and on people's insecurities. I think a lot of people that do the whole meeting people on the internet, I think that's because you're insecure about meeting people in person.
Sure.
So,
Comes from bullying, comes from anything.
So you're
Young
insecure.
girl thinks that she's not pretty or anything like that. She looks for anybody that
And
says
so
that she is.
if someone has with insidious intent wants to go on there, they just have a whole group of people who are prey for them to prey upon, and that's it's not cool to do that, but that's what happens. That's the kind of people
And
that are
why?
on there. So
Why?
don't go on there.
Yeah, but
Don't
see,
do that.
again, it's lonely children
Yes.
and lonely young people that their parents don't give a flying crap about what they're doing
see
in
that
their
a
life,
lot in
who they're
my-
talking to. I
shame.
mean, come on. My kids, as they were growing up, I knew what they were doing.
My parents
where
always
they
knew
were
what I was
going,
doing,
what they
who
were
I was
doing,
dealing
and
with.
yada yada yada.
let
And
me
just
go
to
with
have,
anybody.
it's crazy. It's
Mhm.
crazy. And
Exactly.
it's so dangerous. And,
It's so
our
dangerous.
young people are being preyed upon, and nobody will do anything about it. Nobody will do anything about it. All these internet places like Facebooks and MySpace and all that other
Yeah, nobody
kind
goes
of
on MySpace anymore. But anyway,
Yeah, I know that, but here's the
still,
point.
it was bad for that. It was real bad for that back
Sure,
when it was popular.
MySpace.
You're right.
And the Fraternal Order
Totally
of Police and law enforcement notified MySpace, the head of them, and said, "Look, we would like you to try to support us in working with stalking and this kind of stuff happening, and report it to us and all this other kind of stuff," and they refused to
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh,
Why
that's
would you
so terrible.
refuse?
Why? What
Why?
kind of company
because,
is that?
Because they were
Wow.
making their money on
Hand over fist,
Yeah.
and they didn't care.
What is
Almighty
going on
dollar.
with our
That's
society?
lousy.
What is
That is
really
scummy.
going on?
I didn't know that story. Wow, that's a crazy story.
That's gospel truth.
Wow. No, I believe you. I just
It's not
wow.
hearsay. I saw that personally myself.
Right. Wow. Well, and again, the internet is real easy to do shady things with. Yeah, there's a lot of positive applications for the internet as well, but it's so easy because it's not regulated. You know what I mean? It's an unregulated
So who
environment
owns
in
the
general.
internet?
Right. Nobody.
Yes, they do.
And
You know
so
who owns
nobody
the
and everybody. Who?
The government.
Okay.
Did you know that the government owns
I mean,
the internet?
it's on servers throughout the world. I mean,
Sure.
the government owns it. Okay, I did not know that. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, And here again, when you got places that refuse to work on stalking, then it's pretty pathetic, and our children are at prey.
Yeah, well, and I mean, and especially, I don't want to speculate about as to the story I told, where those girls are, if they're all right or not, but God forbid they're not, or even if they are.
Well, they ran away
alive,
just to be with someone that
their lives are probably
made them feel like they were
irretrievably
valid.
altered. Their lives are irretrievably changed,
or maybe even dead if they didn't find.
And that's what I'm saying. God forbid, I don't want to even speculate.
And parents are blindsided by this.
And yeah, I mean, the parents, of course, now the parents see it.
Yeah, of course.
Now
After
the parents
fact.
wish
and assess blame,
and they're saying they want to get them home, and it's just a matter of be there for your kids. Again, I'm not a parent. I don't have any kids, but I know I can speak from the experience of being a child. My parents they always knew who I was going to go with, and if they didn't like who my friends were that I wanted to go with, they told me, "You're not going." They didn't care. They didn't say, "Oh well, we can't tell him not to." If we can't. What if he hates us? Like, my parents didn't care if I hated them. They were my parents first.
That's true.
And my friend,
your parents can't be.
Now that I'm 34, now they're my friends. But then they were the ones that knew better. There was a lot of times they would tell me you can't go here or there, and I would be upset about it a little bit because I was a teenager. But they were right. Looking back on it, it was situations that weren't good. So just be a parent. That's what I'm trying to say. Be a parent to your kids, please. It could save their life someday.
Child molesters.
And they'll thank you later. They might not thank you now.
Child molesters and they will peruse a playground to look for, like you said earlier, for some child that is vulnerable, that's a loner, that's by themselves, and
the weak of the
and so
herd.
forth. And then they'll befriend them,
behavior.
and next thing you know, they got them in their web, and it's nothing but
awful.
devastation.
There's nothing worse than hurting a child to me. If you hurt a child, that's like the worst kind of person to me. If you are the type of person that would hurt a child, you are the worst type of person. And those people they're gonna be around. You're never gonna completely eradicate that from society,
No, but you just start working on it.
Well, of course, but I'm saying that's why the parents have to be, vigilant.
Proactive.
And make sure
and
that
aware of what's happening.
You know what's going on with your children. Exactly. That's the whole point of this.
You got broken families. You got broken, separated parents, and yada yada yada, and all these individuals do is give an excuse when something fails with their own family.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The husband wasn't around. Why can't you, as a woman, say what you mean and mean what you say, and deal with it? It's nothing but an excuse. Know what your children are doing. Know where they're going. Give them a cell phone. They all have cell phones anyhow. Call them, and if they don't respond, then the next time they don't go out.
Right, exactly. And that's exactly right. So, I think this is like we said when we started, it's a topic that we're both passionate about, something that's very serious, and we just want
watch
to talk
your
about
children,
it.
Become more aware,
yes,
and
please.
This kind of stuff.
Please, and and hopefully, this kind of tragedy can be prevented in the future. But these things happen, and if looking at someone else's example of it happening makes you more vigilant as a parent, great. So, all right. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much.